Hi guys, this is Anejath and welcome to Beatworx Presents Gear Reviews. I know we haven't been with you in a while, but we are finally back in the studio and I have yet another headphone for you guys to check out. It is Pioneer's answer to Sennheiser's HD25 and the II-TMA2s. It is the new kid on the block and we are here to check it out today. It is the Pioneer HDJ CX. And here we are, folks, back in the studio. As you can see, I have all the parts of the HDJ CX laid out in front of me. And these are the accessories you get in the box as well, besides the headphone itself, which you can see right here. On the left here, you can see this small compartment here of sorts for your 1/4 inch converter, which pops into this small plastic bit as such, and you can use this to clip it onto your cable as well so you don't lose it. This is pretty handy. Along with that, you also get a couple of spare cushions. So these cushions, it's a common problem with headphones, they tend to wear out after a point, so you can switch them out whenever they do wear out with these extra pads that you have here on my left. Then on the right here, you can see we have a couple of different kinds of cables you get. Again, very handy because different kinds of people prefer different kinds of cables. Some people like the coil cable, which has an extra amount of safety and stretchability. And besides that, they have the straight cable for people who like to just keep it normal and use the normal cable instead of the coil cable. So these are the accessories and everything you get inside the box of the Pioneer HDJ CX. Now that we have this out of the way, we're gonna look at our consumer top 3. If you remember from the last video that we did, I look at 3 things that according to me define a headphone. That would be durability, comfort, and sound. So starting things off, let's begin with how durable this headphone is. So ladies and gents, speaking about the durability of this headphone that we have here in front of us, as you can see, it's a pretty robust build, partly built of metal, like these metal bands that you can see, as well as the plastic cups and the rest of the parts as well, that are mostly made of plastic, but they are good quality plastic, built to last. And it would interest you to know that this headphone has gone through the military standard testing. If you'd like to know the code, it's MIL STD 810H, which is basically a set of tests that certain products go through to determine their durability. And this has passed that test. If you'd like to know more about this test, of course, you can Google it. Feel free to find out more about it. And the headband itself, as you can see, is pretty slim, pretty sleek. It comes with this cushion here attached as well. And the inner part of the headband is made completely of stainless steel, and you can see it's exposed here as well, along with this exposed cable. That might pose an issue for some people, thinking if the cable is a little too delicate, like if you compare it to, say, the Sennheiser HD25, which is a direct competitor to this headphone. They have removable cables attachment to the headphone cups itself, but these don't. So that is again something that's missing in these headphones, but nevertheless they feel good and they have good grip as well, and they won't even bother your ears while you continuously take them on and off during performances. So that again is quite useful. Another thing compared to the Sennheiser HD25 I found very useful is that the cable itself, which connects your headphone to the mixer, is detachable, which is not a feature in the HD25 Sennheisers. They are quite a hassle in certain ways, because I've heard this from a lot of my friends as well. And a general review from a lot of people I've spoken to about the HD25s is that the non-detachable headphone cable can cause an issue over time. There have been instances where it becomes loose over time and can cause connection issues. But with this, that is much less likely to happen, as you have a detachable cable. And more than that, when it sits in pretty well, it also locks. So you can lock the cable in place. So it's pretty sturdy, pretty robust in that sense, and less likely of breaking and tearing up into bits. So that is definitely a major advantage of this headphone when it comes to durability and safety as well. Now let's move on to the next aspect of why we buy headphones in the first place, is how and the way they sit on our heads and the comfort. So speaking of the comfort of this headphone, I've tried this for quite a while and it doesn't seem to bother me as much. Although while doing the review and while preparing for this review, I had my apprehensions because this is a on-ear headphone and not a over-ear headphones like I'm normally used to. As you can tell, I do have big ears and it can be a hassle for some people because the way the headphone sits on your ears can be a defining factor on how often you like to use them and how often you like them on your ears. Because if you have big ears like me, then having an on-ear headphone might be a little bit painful over a period of time. It can cause ear fatigue and ear pain as well, which is of course not advisable at all if you're a DJ. So that is something to keep in mind before you make the purchase of these headphones. But other than that, these headphones feel pretty light. They're only 136 grams, which is quite light for a pair of headphones. And you can feel that lightness even when you're wearing it on the head, and it doesn't feel like it's intrusive or even quite impressive on the head, because it really fits on your head pretty well. And it also has these adjustable straps, of course, that can help you adjust the size and the width of these headphones, which again useful for people with bigger heads. So that is of course again something that's pretty standard with most headphones these days, and there's not much more to say about the comfort and the fit of these headphones. You may want to try them on yourself before you decide to go for it, would be my best advice. Now finally, let's talk about arguably the most important aspect of a headphone, which is the sound itself, this quality of the sound, and how balanced it is, how not balanced it is, and just how it feels while you play around with your music. So it's got a good balanced sound, and as per Pioneer's advertisements, it has a frequency range from 5 Hertz going up all the way to 30 kilohertz, which is a good range in my opinion, a nice healthy range for a decent mid-range headphone. It's got a composite film diaphragm. That is what actually helps the headphone achieve those frequencies. And if you'd like to know more about what a composite film diaphragm is and what materials have gone into making that diaphragm, and if you'd like to geek out a little bit, feel free to go ahead and Google it. You can learn quite a bit more about the inner workings of this headphone itself. But for general audiophiles and DJs like me who'd like to quickly know how the profile of the sound is, the news here is great, because the sound itself is not too flat. It's got a nice warm full sound with a clean defined bass, and it's got a bit of color as well. But when I say color, I don't mean that in a bad way, because usually when DJs or audiophiles generally say color, it means certain unnecessary enhancements in the frequencies that can make something sound unnatural. But in this case, it's not so. It's got a nice pleasant color to it, which actually makes it sound warm. The mid frequencies and the low frequencies especially stand out quite a bit, and the highs, I'm glad to say, are not sharp or shrill and don't hurt your ears at all. So overall, I would definitely give this a big thumbs up when it comes to the sound quality of this headphone. And of course, being that the mid-range as well as the bass is great with its sound profile, it's ideal for beat matching and gives good sound isolation as well. Being that it's a closed back on-ear headphone, it really does the job well of preventing a lot of the outside noise from coming in. I wouldn't say all of it, but again, that is something we can determine with a more extensive testing in the coming months, which I shall do, and I will get back to you on that with more information. But overall, the sound is absolutely superb, and I would like to just give a moment of appreciation basically for Pioneer, because in the last few headphone series, they've really upped their game with their sound. especially the headphone that I owned last time and I've reviewed previously as well, which is the Pioneer HDJ X5, which has got a fantastic sound profile, and I feel they've improved upon it even more with this headphone. If you would like to watch that review of me talking about the HDJ X5, you can check out the link in the description. Go ahead, have a look and tell me what you think in the comments. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the sound and the audio profile of this amazing headphone. So as we saw, ladies and gentlemen, the HDJ CX is a very good competitor in the mid-range headphone market. It's got all the features, it ticks all the boxes, except for one for me personally, which is the price point, because I mean it is supposed to be a competitor for the Sennheiser HD25 and the IIS as well. So I feel the price point could have been a bit lower just so they could compete in this price range. But as with all products, discounts and marketing initiatives may come in the future. We just have to wait and see. Until next time, I will see you guys very soon. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you have any products that you'd like us to review, don't forget to mention them in the comments. We will see you again very soon. Take care. See you next time.